slow movements, and please be very discreet when people come through here. People get really weirded out about us filming their cars. Anyway, back to Charles and Eliza Pinckney. They had a son named Charles. Oh, by the way, where we're standing, he kind of interrupted. We're standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. I like to just give you the layout of the land so we know what we're actually exploring. They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks, in case you lost track. That's why we look for secondary clues. I need to know which Charles is coming through in the event that we get the name Charles. So the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a big deal for us, but I hate politics, and if I don't bring it up, they're going to do it for me very angrily through her spirit box. So we'll talk more about that at the end. But we're going to talk about Eliza. She has a much better story. Eliza married Charles at a young age, according to today's standards. So if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, don't expect numbers like 12 and 14 from the colonial days that she came from, because that's when girls actually got married back then. Think of today's standards. And I bring that up because her husband was over double her age when they married. Kind of a creepy age gap back in the 1700s, creepy age gap now. Anyway, she married him because her father was over in England. He thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time so he can go see him. Or so he can see him one last time. She didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that particular year to get a green card because we're not a country yet. So again, it was a legit, love story. So don't poke the bear on that one. There was no love affair or any foul play. But she was right. Dad didn't die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where we're standing right now. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. You guys are going to see the word indigo all over town. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for now. However, when she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's not warm here all the time. And then she had to learn how to make the dye. When she figured all that out, she moved it to a cash crop plantation and then got a hold of her dad and said, rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. That's the boring business shit, because I can already see their boredom.
That is boring at all. We're both business owners,
So as am I, and this lady just fascinates me, which they're actually about to put up a display of one of her restored dresses at the Charleston Museum, and I am like stoked to go see this stuff and take an EMF reader with me to see what I can get off of it, because let's face it, it's not like I don't talk to this woman every single night. So let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are here. With spirit boxes, I'm basically going to give you guys a set of focus questions for each device that you guys have. Just keep in mind, whoever's asking a question, don't get disappointed if you don't get a direct answer. You can ask a question, she can get an answer. We never know where it's going to fall. Not to mention, we're also using a video camera that records audio, along with my voice recorder. So again, we never know where it's going to go. Here's how this is going to go. I'm going to give you a series of...
95.
It's interesting you heard that.
0.9. Rolling. Now I'm getting a lot of... I couldn't hear a lot of really
3.3.
3.3 and 2.7. Got it. All right, so when you get yours unmuted, I'm going to give everybody their series of questions, and we're going to kind of spread off into this area a little bit to kind of see what's going on.
Soil. You were talking about the garden.
Yeah, it's pretty vague. Soil or soul?
Soil.
Okay, sorry. Northerner.
Garden soil.
Well, that's common.
Southerner.
We will often get gardening terms when we're starting to talk about a lot of things. Just so, yeah.
National Symphony Orchestra?
I think that's...
Yeah, nothing. So your guys' series of questions is going to be
we're
really
at
simple.
3, yeah.
So the mansion's not here. I want you two to focus on what happened to it, and if you get an answer, when did that happen? We're obviously looking for a date. If we get the what, we will commonly get 2 or 3 numbers from the date. So kind of keep that in mind, and it could be like January 1st of 1990. So we'll get 1, 1, and 90. So you kind of get my point of the numbers out of the date. I'm not going to tell you what the tragedy was, but you can also ask how old she was when she got married.
7.7.
How old? These are ones I'm going to start writing down now, because I'm losing track of what the hell you've been telling me.
4.4 and 7.7 just recently.
You had a 2.7 earlier.
I had a 2.7, a 2.9.
When you had the 4, I got one of my favorites.
A 4.4 and a 7.7.
Oh,
is
0, 5,
they're
7,
all
9.
doubles. That's what I was just about to say.
Well, the 4.4 is obviously, to me, is somewhat relevant because it's almost like she's showing you what year she got married. So it was 1744. So if you would have had a 17 before that 4.4, I'd be a little bit more excited. But again, the 4.4, I mean, to me, that's the first
Well, I
thing
might have, but I wasn't paying attention to
Maybe.
that. And I did see a 1.7 at some point, so I don't know if it was right now.
So
but
up to
you told
1,
me not to look
yeah.
after I hit 2.5, so I was
Right.
really only paying attention to over 5.
With your communication device, it's obvious you have things going on with the garden already, but I do want you to focus on that particular device loves to tell us which Eliza's here. Let me explain. Charles had 2 wives named Eliza, back to back. Back to back. So the first one dies in January. The second one he marries, the one we just spoke about, in May of the same year. So one dies, 5 months later he gets remarried to another woman named Eliza. Ironically, both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. Which Eliza are we dealing with by asking her maiden
Sounds like
name?
me, my first 3 boyfriends were named John. That was not it.
Now, with yours. Are you ready? I'm going to give you, your focus questions are going to be about her death. So, how old she was, what year she died, what she died from, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Okay? So, anything relative to her death, she's pretty open to talk about.
There's another 2 too.
I'll also tell you that
And do I speak it out loud,
wherever
or do I say
you're
it in my...
comfortable with.
Okay.
Most people will just kind of listen in, because remember, he's asking questions too, as is she. Or you all are focused on something, you might hear answers from their questions. We just never know. So again, with these type of questions, these are all common things that we get answers to, and I will give you the answers before we leave the space. So we're going to, I'm actually going to keep David behind for just a few minutes so I can show him how to use that a little bit further with some examples, because I do want to test out the space where we actually thought we had a figure last night to see if we can recreate it, because if we can, that's a bad thing. That means the points from last night's tour are no good. So we're going to tinker around with yours, and I'm going to bounce around with everybody else to see what you guys are hearing, what you're seeing, and then kind of keeping track of, you can, with the numbers that are coming up. So our baseline right now is 7.7. Do you guys want a better explanation of them EMF readings, or do you want to wait to see if we get them any higher? Nah. That's BS. So put that device behind your TV set. It's going to be about 40 to 60 milligauss. So this space averages 18 to 22 milligauss spikes. So that means we're going to get all these little 3, 5, 7s, but it'll go up to like 18 to 22 and then right back down again. Your microwave running on high is about 150 to 170. The highest we've ever seen that device go has been here, ever, in my 11 years of investigating. 214 milligauss. I need to know if that thing starts to hit triple digits.
Gotcha.
Like, it's a big deal. And there's obviously no electricity around here to make that thing do that.
Yeah.
The wires above us are way too high above us to be creating that kind of EMF down here. I will also tell you that the K index is pretty high tonight, so I don't know what we're going to be expecting out of that. And I'll explain what K index is later if we need to. So that goes into a whole lot of sciencey geeky stuff. All right, everybody spread out. Get that mute button unmuted. You're still blinking at the top. Good. So I'm going to keep David behind. Start scattering about. Then we used that term earlier, scattering.
Scatter.
So you're going to stay with me for just a few minutes.
Y'all know I'm going to scare y'all.
Just stay away from vehicles, please. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to test this thing from last night. So point your camera over here. You see how?
Is that where it was?
Like right at this post. So right at this post, I want to say she was standing more over here.
You want to keep pointing it at the
come over
post?
here with me, and I want to test this out. It was right on the post. I mean, it was literally all right here. So I want to go make sure that all these lights are on. You can see me in there now?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay. I'm touching the sign. Is it doing anything?
It's not. Oh, wait.
Okay, keep it right there.
There's something. There's you and the other person. You see that?
It's kind of what we saw last night. I'm looking for slanted shoulders, which it gave us there for a brief second. Yeah. So, could be debunked already. Okay. So, a couple of things I want to point out. Like, see all this gobbledygook over here?
Yeah, it's the tree.
Yeah, it's the tree. So it's always going to like put 3 points for eyes and a nose, as far as the head goes, if something's super close. Also keep in mind, like if you see something that large, that means it's pretty tall. It will also pick up shadows.
That mean it's real?
No.
Okay.
That means it's fake.
Yeah.
We're looking for real stuff out here. Point your camera like more towards like where the wall is, where our shadows are. Maybe if we get a little bit closer to where some of the light is. Keep your shadow on the wall. You can move quick. It's fine. I want you to see like an absence of light, meaning a shadow, is gonna pick up on there. It's not enough light over here for it to pick up. But in the event it was a little bit brighter over here, you would see a figure where your shadow is. Don't get excited about it.
If I try to... No.
Yeah, I mean the light is coming from that building over there, so it's gonna shine directly at us. But it is gonna pick up weird things. It will pick up the depth perception of this sign to this wall. So again, keep in mind it might put a point right here. against the wall because it's in front of it. Anything that's in front of something else is how that.
There's your shadow. Yep, I saw your shadow for a second.
Right, perfect. So that kind of proves the point of the absence of light. I'm learning more and more about how to like teach people on how to use this particular camera. So
yeah.
You're probably the first person I've really gone into full in-depth with this. Otherwise, I say just wave it around and let's see what we can find.
Yeah.
But the slower the movements on that guy, the easier it's going to be able to find something. So it's almost standing still would be optimal. If I were doing my investigation privately with this, I would probably just set it up and let it run.
Yeah.
So the slower you move, the better. But again, when people are walking by or there are, you know, people in their cars or whatever, exactly, got it. You're still recording. Nobody knows what you're doing. You kind of get my point. We're going to be in an alley at the next location, and that's exactly how you're going to handle that camera.
Yeah,
you're just going to grab it. You got it. Other people are going to be in there.
Alright, what are we getting out of that?
We got something like one. We didn't really get that much. This has been a bunch of static and like
There were a couple of
mumbling.
words. Yeah, they were hard to make out.
Anything crazy coming out of yours?
60 on this one was the highest.
Wow. Okay.
We have initial and struggle in the last 2 words.
Initial struggle. Okay, so 60 is definitely high. Like, that is astronomical for an outdoor location.
It was like right in the middle, like in the corner over there. Not quite all the way.
I know she's off in her own little world over there. I'm going to give her a few minutes.
Yeah,
to
the
see.
figure's coming back up
Yes.
again.
Okay.
So that's definitely
Eliza was
fake.
happy
Yeah.
when she got married. Why she got married.
When we
If
asked
she liked
her,
to grow things.
That's a yes/no question. I'm a English guy. Sorry, I'm going to correct him all
What
night
do we
long.
say? What did you like to grow?
Yep, that's more specific.
What was some of the?
when we asked her, we asked her what was her like husband's name, and she said Light or something like that. And then after Light, she said something on.
Messenger.
So I want you to hang out with him for a few because I want you to get the gist of how to listen to that guy. I want you to show me where that 60 milligrams was.
What else?
Else.
Else? Go over here. I want to see. Because there's a figure.
What was your husband's name, Eliza?
Okay, so.
Smash or pass? Nah. I'm trying to think.
What's your favorite food?
What happened? Oh. Nah. When did the mansion fall?
Person.
Person. We got person.
Is this who is this person you're talking about? Who is it?
Me. Heard me. When did you die?
When did this person you're talking about die?
Oh wait. Who are we talking to?
Denier?
Bus.
Bus?
we got like
Denier, bus, else, person.
I don't even remember my good birthday.
We got person, else, denier.
When we asked who we were talking to, it said like something nire, like
denier
something
or
like that.
Okay, so a
Something
part of a
close.
word.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, did you have other terms that came through?
think I was trying to holler.
And I try to listen when, I mean, you have to remember.
That's why I'm hollering, because I don't remember what happened 20 seconds ago.
It's okay, it's why I'm here.
I'm like,
And if we don't remember it, it's on somebody's recording somewhere.
But
Like,
I did ask her.
Yeah.
I asked her 15 and then something about graduation.
Are you the
So I was
figure
like, is it
on the pole?
2015 or because it couldn't be 2015, it was something.
That's a yes or no
or
question.
something
Oh,
20
shit.
or 2000. I don't know.
Is the figure on the pole real?
Right. That's why I'm like,
Oh, shoot.
what are you talking about?
I'm
I
trying
don't.
to guess what they're really saying.
Yeah.
Who is that standing near the pole?
The world of trying to portray messages of what's going on.
But she definitely,
We're going down below.
if that's who I'm talking to, I mean.
True. Because, I mean, it could be any of the people that came up.
Hello.
I've chatted with all
Hello.
of them.
I heard something
Whoever
whisper.
that was.
Marketer.
Marketer.
We got
May
marketer.
we have your name, please?
Yeah, I got nothing out of that. We need a name.
Yeah.
Who's here with us? Who do we have here? Give us your first name. You know how to use all these boxes we're holding. Try again. We need something a little stronger than that. We're having a hard time making it out.
Proof.
I know somebody's here. Our one box doesn't give us the readings that we normally get unless somebody's actually here. We'd like a name, please. We're being respectful.
Desire.
I'm getting a lot of like romance music. And I got Jimmy Evans.
Nick and I asked.
Billy.
We got. We just got a U.
I just heard 20 out of that, too.
We would like to know your name.
So Billy U20.
You have no other words coming up on there?
No.
They may use this driveway to turn around, so. So all of those, like marketer, you, like none of that is specific. So unless we were talking about somebody a little bit more modern,
Sit.
I mean, we're talking about somebody from.
Did Eliza get married? Like, did they have children? Did either one of them, like the first one and the second one, have children, or just the second?
It's a question I don't always bring up with my smaller groups. I'll explain it once we wrap things up. Because I do go over them very quickly, just so you know what I'm looking for in case something does pop up. Eliza, what do you want to tell us about the mansion that was here? Do you want to tell us what happened to it? Maybe the date of when that tragedy occurred?
I heard you, John.
Yeah, you're at 0 right now.
Yeah, and it's been that way for a while.
Yeah.
That figure's like moving. By the pole is like moving. Like,
And that's
But
what
it
we
doesn't
did
have a
last
head.
night.
but it doesn't have a head though.
3-6. I got 3-6.
Like it's like
Yes. So you can go back and see the footage from last night's tour when you guys get yours.
it twitched its arm a little.
It's kind of like. It says, who is the person standing near the wall over there? too vague.
If that's a member of the Pinckney family, we need a little bit more proof, because that's exactly where we saw something last night.
Please tell us who that is. There's...
Alright, I'm going to rein them back in because nobody's getting anything super specific. Andrea, come on back.
9.
Nine.
Alright, that plane is dead.
And then almost, and I almost heard a 10 too.
What did you get over there?
And that 9 was like
9.
so obvious.
Oh, she was confident inside and out. Wow.
Anything else crazy on there?
Eliza, we be buddies.
Anything else nuts on there? I heard you heard the number 15 again.
15 again. There's a lot.
Her was right.
That was me.
No, the beauty is that we're recording it. You don't have to remember everything.
Thank God.
So, go ahead and mute yours for me if you don't mind. Camera, go ahead and give it a break so that we...
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's definitely not a tour.
So, what do we got going on?
Well, I just said, are there any ghosts here? Where are you? And it said refuse.
Go ahead and mute that one for me. What have you heard out of yours?
Music, but nothing.
Is that you?
I think looks like our watch is going on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Love. Oh, full
I
complete.
don't think that they're going to turn my Apple Watch on.
It's your phone.
Something's there.
What? Your phone's happening?
She can't hear us.
I didn't even do that.
That's a good song. That's a good song.
I don't even.
Still, huh?
Kendrick Lamar.
Was it your phone ringing or did you just start playing
Okay.
music?
Started randomly playing music.
What is this? Okay, this might be interesting. Why? First of all, I don't listen
She
to
doesn't
explicit.
listen to Kendrick Lamar.
I don't listen to explicit music at all.
Yeah.
Like ever.
Well, just country. She listens to country music.
And worship music.
Full complete.
I do not listen to
So
any.
how did that come about?
I have no
Not even on your
idea.
phone.
And she.
That's obviously something you recognized. Because, and you were talking about like, hey, this is my iPod. Like you were just joking around back there on the way here.
Oh shoot.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Yeah.
Oh, did Siri must have heard. Did you
No.
say?
No, it's.
No, what I'm
We
saying
were
is
away-
it's not
we
a
were away
coincidence
from
that
them.
something went off and it was something he recognized.
Damn, I wouldn't do that.
It's
Get off
Kendrick.
my.
It's Kendrick.
I don't care. I want this. I don't do that.
Just calm down.
Get out of the app.
It's funny. We were just talking about
Okay, put your phone back.
wait, what you
I
mentioned
didn't do
that
that.
it said refuse to?
When I asked
Where the ghosts
where
are
the
at.
ghosts were,
Any
Were
of the
we
words show up
mentioning-
on there?
we saw not very many. What did we see right before it comes on?
Were we mentioning?
You can hit the white
Oh.
box and it'll show you everything we've had so far.
Moment. Success. We were talking about finding a bathroom.
Okay,
when we
wait.
walked past a place with a bathroom, and that was when success.
Oh
popped
yeah,
up.
we were talking about
Laughed about
going
that.
to the bathroom
Were we ever?
and the farmers market.
Oh yeah, when we walked through
Did
the
we ever
farmer's
mention
market,
like
farmer came up.
her relationship or like?
Did you see the number 20?
I didn't even notice that.
We were still near Big John's. That was
I must not have been looking at it because I don't remember seeing any of these words right here. So it must have jumped right from this. I remember Cora and structural. I don't remember any of these until actress.
that's Big John's jersey number. Just pointing that out.
Well, it might have played
Like
the
it's-
song
like,
"Love" for a reason.
All the rest of them have stayed on there a long time, but those were bam, bam, bam.
I mean,
There's going to be another tour coming through, so we're just going to let them pass by quietly.
did anyone mention anything about love?
No, but
Why
this
did you hear it?
That's the song that came
Oh,
on.
gotcha. She was just talking about it a minute ago.
This is also a love story I'm about to tell you. Another one. So, kind of. Yes, no. It is a song, a song. It's history about a duel, but it involves it's a love story at the same time. So, but you guys can see how large the group can get. So, that's why I only go to 10. We're allowed to take 20. But we won't do it. So, my bag is heavy enough.
Explicit. Angry love story.
Lord.
I guess we're about to
Shooting
hear it.
each other up.
Yeah, we're
that's
about
what
to
we
hear
just
an
watched.
explicit
Yeah, that
angry
was
love story.
crazy. I mean, seriously, that phone is probably, that song has never been played on any device she owns.
Nope.
Interesting.
David, do
Very-
you have?
Very, very, very.
Are y'all?
I'm also
like,
wondering
Apple
if it's
Music
something a little bit more connected with Nick.
Any-
The reason why is because the ghost we're talking about tonight in this location is from the 1700s. He's not going to know what the hell that song is to play it. Again, he wouldn't even use that as being part of song lyrics because again, it's 1786 of the time setting of the story. He's not going to be able to understand those type of lyrics.
No.
So it's just
Thank
definitely not a
God.
thing.
Black cat.
So,
Here's what I understand.
talking about a cat over there,
Yeah.
you're going to start seeing a lot of cats. They belong to one of the churches nearby. So you do have yours on record, right? Okay. All right. So let's get into why we're here. This is Philadelphia Alley. More Philadelphia for you. So this used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So I bring you this far in. Yeah. Take 10 paces, turn, shoot.
Oh,
I mean,
Because you can't
pretty
run to
smart.
the side. Yeah, you can't run away.
Yeah. Well, again, I say some of the duels took place down here because dueling was illegal in the 1700s, and they had to find a hiding spot. And when I give you a little bit more layout of the land after the dueler story, you'll kind of see why this was a weird space. Check that out. It is a hypothesis because I'm the one that pieced it together based on the alley's history. But anyway, every ghost tour comes down here, and it's a staple. Did you hear people whistling as they walked by? Okay.
Yeah.
Some of them were. So, yeah, you can't hear anything. You couldn't hear your phone blasting.
Yeah, for real.
Well,
David had to know.
literally, I have 40% hearing loss on this side, so, and then this one's listening to this, so it's like, I'm.
And you can put that on mute at this point. So you can give yourself a break. Yeah, give yourself a break. Chill out. It's your night. I'm not like forcing you to do it.
recording it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
She's interested in it. That's why.
I'm interested, and I'm also very, like,
You're focused. I
like
noticed.
success.
Okay, well, sometimes you got to know the history to know the success.
Okay, cool.
You're going to get a little bit different pieces of history of this particular story from me versus everybody else because we're ghost hunting. It's not a campfire marshmallow type of ghost tour. Let's get into it. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. If the song Brown Eyed Girl plays here, it's not coincidental. We get it all the time because it's part of his name. So, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She's an attorney, helping her out with all of this cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. He tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. He comes to Charleston to prove that he's not. As he's coming into town, the coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his stay here, but somebody was walking by. His name was Ralph Isaacs. I stopped there because Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. RI was showing up a lot on the spirit box that you're using, and that one. So I actually bought a new device they just invented last year. It's basically a digital Ouija board. So it uses EMF detection to stop letters. The ghost can basically heighten an EMF so that way it can stop the letters and spell out words for us and get us initials. We have gotten the letters RI as I'm telling this portion of the history at least 6 times in the past 6 months.
Ring doorbell.
I don't think.
I'm just saying.
Well, he was
You
engaged,
never know. R.I.
Ring.
but he was also engaged.
Yeah, so her ring camera
Ring.
just went off.
So, again, that's a little too coincidental for you. But anyway, Ralph tells the doctor,
That's just my husband going back and forth.
Ralph tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them and you'll be safe. Took him up on the offer. They became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. Amanda gets wind of this and she's moving down so they can get married. And Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor because he whistled all the time because it's the 1700s and that's what guys did when they were happy back then. So look at him checking him out. Just looks like just came
use
from a
that
raver, right?
intelligence in school, maybe.
Oh, I see how it is. I'm only
Sorry,
failing
I
2
couldn't help
classes.
Wow.
You need to talk to Dr. Whistling Lad.
I will tell you that every tour tells you to listen for the whistles while you're down here. You don't need to do that. Bullshit. No, you don't need to do that because David's recording the video right now along with audio, and I have my voice recorder going. If it's going to show up on a regular piece of audio, it may come up here. But as far as Andrea's device that she's using, we have had the word whistling come up, and we have had specific whistles come up from song lyrics where it's just the whistle. So think of moves like Jagger, you know, and Guns N' Roses' Patience. Like those are songs that have whistling portions of them. They occur all the time while we're here. Anyway, back to Ralph and the doctor. They go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's just the way the hierarchy works back then. They talk about these plays on the way home. They're talking about Richard III one night from Shakespeare, and they're arguing over the new actress. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island, and it gets very ugly. They go their separate ways. Ralph has friends around town. He goes to his friends at the newspaper and puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Yeah.
Media back then.
Doctor saw the, yeah, exactly. Doctor saw the ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dooley's Alley. We're going to settle this shit. Once and for all, somebody's going to die. So they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air and shot. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight, which is often what happened at a duel. But Ralph has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. He didn't kill him, but he proved his point that he's still pissed off. Dr. Ladd's friends picked him up. They carried him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786 after refusing medical treatment. You have to remember he's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed this out himself. The 1786 gunshot wounds are a lot different than the gunshot wounds that we have now. So he probably would have been trying to bleed out the lead poisoning from the bullet. So every tour will tell you, listen for those whistles. If you're going to try this on your own and go all the way through, I can't take you all the way through because that's part of the fun start of where I got kicked out of here kind of story. I'll get to that. But keep in mind, turn on your voice recorders, but every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street throws a whistle down the alley. I do it every night. Whenever I'm done with your data back at the office and I'm walking back to my car, I have to pass the alley. I throw a whistle down here every night, just because for shits and giggles. Sometimes it's at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning whenever I'm leaving town. But anyway, let's get into why I got kicked out of here. This is the hypothesis part. This alley didn't go all the way through this way. It was cut off with a wall. The reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. It was called Cow Alley before it was called Dueler's Alley. So that means the bricks on the other side, way down at the end by Queen Street, are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, along with fingerprint swipes and other bricks. So if sun-dried, if you're unsure what that is, sorry, I'm going to give a little history lesson. It means those kids, slaves, literally had to turn those bricks in the sun to bake them. So that way the bricks would become bricks and not just a mushy mortar, if that makes sense. So one kid accidentally left a handprint and it's face up in the alley. I used to take my groups all the way through down to the end and point them out. However, I treat that handprint on that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid's not there. That's the last place you're going to find him. However, November 26th of 2020, my entire group of 10 is huddled around that one brick waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along because I know nothing's going to happen. And it's outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion of the end of the alley. So I'm just trying to be respectful, not knowing I was out of bounds. I was still new at tourism. So the new owner of that mansion came out screaming, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And he, was basically, how do I put this? My daughter thought it was great because I'm getting yelled at, but we moved on. So the next day was Thanksgiving. I don't work on Thanksgiving because I worked in retail management for over 20 years, mainly for Walmart. You can feel my pain on that one.
Huh.
So, yeah.
I don't shop on that day.
Thanksgiving. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So I don't do Thanksgiving anymore. The next day was November 28th of 2020. So I called my partner up that I had at the time, and I told him what happened. And he said, dude, you can't go down that far. You're only allowed to go down halfway or reroute your group. So I decided I'm going to reroute the group and just avoid trouble altogether. I'm still going to tell the story outside the alley, but I also told my group, I don't believe in the next story. I've never had anything happen there. We're going to wing it and see how it goes. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. It's a pirate story next, in case you didn't guess that. So, before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them who we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate Anne Bonny. So, oh shit. We get down there, I told them what little bit I did, able to research that day on piracy. Somebody else heard the number 300. I don't know what that means either, so I write it down. the next day I do the research. We were there on November 28th of 2020, and Bonnie's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720, the 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So I went, damn it, now I gotta learn about pirates. So, how's it going? So, it all happened at once.
Oh no, we were saying damn it about something else.
So my issue with pirates is, I already told you, I have a master's degree in creative writing. So that's pirate lore to me. Like, that's not accurate information. So trying to piece together a factual investigation at the next location is difficult. So I'm literally still reading books on pirates, trying to make sure everything I'm telling you guys is accurate. Everything we're going to discuss at the next location came from a minimum of 2 different resources. So that way we can be as accurate as we possibly can. So it is a hit or miss location. We might get something, or we might get a shit ton. So, with that said, the next location is, again, it's a weird spot. We might have nothing going on or a lot going on. That's just the way that space works. You would think that that's the way it always is with paranormal investigations, but I can bank on 6 out of 7 nights a week that the Pinckney Mansion site's going to be active. I can't say that with this next location, but hopefully we're going to get bleed over from this space as well. Before we leave the space, another part of the hypothesis, the gate. There's a reason why I start here. Remember I told you the alley didn't go all the way through this way? The archway was always there, so in the event there was a loser to the duel, this was the shortcut to get to the cemetery on the other side. Otherwise they'd have to carry the dead body from the duel all the way down to the end of the alley, which you guys have already seen how long it is, and carrying dead weight can be very heavy. And then they'd have to come back around to get to the cemetery. So they created this archway so that way they didn't have to walk as far. The wrought iron gate wasn't always there. That's an early 1900s gate for sure. But the archway, as you can see, is all definitely part of the original alley. So it's just an interesting space in watching how it evolves when you start reading and start piecing all of this together. Like, oh shit, that's a real thing. So, you guys ready to learn about pirates? Yeah. Any other words that came up that I need to know about?
Saw camera, gaze, 90, tragic. I didn't see tragic. It came in between so fast. Summer.
You said 90?
Yeah, 90.
Numbers and names usually don't lie.
Yeah, when you were talking about the one who died in November.
The doctor.
Okay, that was when summer popped up, and then the next time I looked at it, it said 90. So it was while you were talking about that that popped up.
Yeah, the duel was in late October, obviously.
Yeah.
And
so I was thinking until you said, I was like, I wonder if he died in the summer, but then you said November. I said that can't be it.
he was born in the summer. I'll give you that. But
And then
normally we get the
obviously
specific
his death
date.
is tragic. But
It
I mean,
is.
that
Pretty
could be
big
any
stuff.
time. Yeah, that's
Well, it
really
could
big.
be any
Hey,
location.
you look up the degrees in Charleston, South Carolina on November. It could be one of those random summer days.
That's
Well,
true. It
the
was
summer
90
piece,
in
the weird thing is
October.
we normally will get his birthday a lot, and it's a very specific birthday. So it's very
Well, when
interesting.
you first started talking about whistling and his banshee, then you talked about his dying this summer, and then the next time I looked,
Very specific birthday is it like July 4th or something?
Maybe we're gonna see if it pops up. I'll tell you when it's specific enough. Because it's interesting how it pops up, and when it does pop up, because that's another. We'll probably get it 4 out of 7 nights a week. Like there's a reason why
Really
it comes up
wants
the way
you
it
to
does.
know.
Yeah, I don't know why.
His birthday?
Yeah.
important. He felt like he was important.
So. All right, let's go learn about
Summer.
pirates. You can definitely unmute
you hear
along the way.
Summer.
Okay, summer's important.
Okay, summer.
Throw him a whistle, David.
That's the first word I've heard in a while.
Was his birthday in the summer?
It was.
We were talking about his birthday.
So Nick,
Yeah. What up?
along the tour, is there a chance that there's a
We can find you one. How about that?
I know, right? Well, I mean, we can
Oh,
go in that
Olivia.
hotel was fine.
The name Olivia just came up on here.
I don't know who that is. That name shows up often.
Oh, we need to find out who Olivia is.
I asked her where the bathroom is. Maybe it's in the
hotel.
Show us where the bathroom is.
Direct.
And that's
I
where
was
Olivia
wrecked.
is.
$21 years. 21.
He was 22 when he died.
21 years. Okay, 21.
close, but no cigar.
Oh, I'm getting a lot more work.
Camp.
Beneath.
Nick, I might have heard vampire just because somebody's repeating it, but it might not have been. Just look back on this time.
Alright,
I swear I heard vampire.
so for a bathroom, you're gonna go right there where that open door is. You see it? Like, look up the sidewalk. See the green door that's hanging out?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yep. Grab a restroom break.
I'm not gonna
Anybody else need a restroom break?
Yes, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
Boys,
a
help me
duel.
out. It's okay.
Have fun with
Me and the boys will hang out right here waiting on you.
Okay, sorry, y'all.
Don't know how to use this.
It's okay. You don't need to.
4139. Oh
It's because
yeah.
we're on a crosswalk. Let's actually cross the street. It looks like this towards Lord.
Oh.
Are you guys cousins? Like, I'm trying to figure out.
Nah.
Just friends out of them two? Okay. I'm trying to figure out, like, are they sisters and you two cousins? Like, how does that work?
Nah, they're friends and we're friends.
Gotcha.
This. That doesn't mean
That was Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Maybe Bruno needs something.
Maybe Bruno.
Well, it's interesting you still have that thing on record at that angle. You're good. You're good. I actually want to watch that later.
Yeah.
People walking by you. David, just be mindful of people walking by. There you go. Not everybody needs to know you have a camera. You're not holding anything extra? Give me something so he can help you out.
Oh yeah.
Caught you. There you go.
Arrange.
David. Cooper, I feel bad. Bro. He's coming back for his
Oh, wait.
Yeah, he's going back to school. But he was stupid enough to show what he had to like. He showed it to somebody. It was Harrison. And Harrison
Why
didn't
is this a
snitch.
snitch?
I don't know. Somebody snitched.
I think you were just like,
They searched his backpack.
I know.
It was
They get caught with.
That's Cooper. I remember when me and Davis were in the bathroom after lunch for like 20 minutes. They walked in. We were just talking about wrestling and bodybuilding, and Davis had his like shirt off, posing in the mirror. Slaughter was in there too. It was funny. Miss Henniger got mad at us. She's like, why in the world do y'all need to be in the bathroom for 20 minutes? She sent us to their office. It wasn't that bad though. He just gave us a warning.
Whose idea was it to come out and do this, by the way?
I don't know.
Teaching, right?
Yeah.
But my mom's been wanting to go to like Charleston 4 times.
Our friend Charlie goes up there sometimes.
Is that a name that just came out of there? I think I just heard Mark.
Yeah. Because our friend's a Coastal Carolina football fan, and his dad lives here. So he comes up here. Yeah.
Just normally when there's a bigger group like your guys, is I can usually pinpoint like who was the one that wanted to come, who convinced everybody else to come. I can usually find out who that person was.
I was excited for this though.
I thought it was gonna be one of those ones.
Like
just
that?
I didn't know it'd be like this cool. Like serious.
Yeah, I talk a lot of history. Realization of why things are covered.
watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. That's what happens with teenagers. I have kids. I get it. They're not watching TV with me.
But yeah, I've seen a lot about like the Conjuring house. I've seen people use spirit boxes in there, stay in the basement. They'll have like I saw a video where this dude he was like
Santa Colby?
yeah. They went in the basement, Colby did by himself, and he got locked down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nancy.
Those are the only people I watch. Rhymes?
Yeah.
She's alright. It's just her face.
If you've seen her, I've probably seen her the same Colby episode because of my aunt. Because, you know, when she comes down, like she puts it on TV because she thinks I'm gonna sit down and watch it with her. She's like, I don't always want to watch ghost hunts and shit.
Yeah, like this is what I do for a living. I don't really want to watch this.
I mean, I do watch and, you know, listen, read a lot, but I have to read the science, I have to read the history, I have to read the locations. I mean, all your STEM categories, they're all there. I have to know the math for that device, that kind of thing.
Does it get kind of tiring?
It depends. So there are some groups that I get that are they're a little over the top. Like,
Are they like disrespectful?
they'll be disrespectful for one, or disrespectful to me, and not realize like I make a living. Like I do pretty well. Like
I mean, this is pretty nice. Like, I mean, it's better than just being cooped up in the office, I guess.
I'm gonna go back to my office and I gotta plug everything in, and then I gotta go through all the data, research something here that popped up, like the name Nancy.
You do a lot of research.
Yeah, it's a lot. Most of it is drag and drop because I have everything set up based on the location. So it's like, oh, this thing came through about Eliza. Here's why. Here's the year she died. Here's the link that shows that. So it's a lot of drag and drop. But sometimes if something pops up new, that's where I get excited because it's not just drag and drop and go through the same shit over and over and over again. But I do change this up every year. I add a location and take out one. So no, I thought they stopped to grab a drink.
Except.
I think Andrea is definitely in the van for us right now. She was drinking non-alcoholic, quote unquote, in the Ubers. I was wondering why we Ubered, either so we didn't have to pay a parking fee, or I think she's. I don't want to.
Okay, you didn't warn us.
What?
The band's in the front door, and apparently, if you walk in, they know that you're on a ghost floor using the restroom.
Oh, what did they say?
They hooped and hollered and said restrooms right there, the whole band. And we were like, so then I felt obliged to like stop and be like, I'm sorry. But yeah, you caught us. It was so awkward. Yeah, but they like literally hollered. Did you not hear them screaming?
I did.
That's
You guys like went in and raised the party.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, we thought y'all stopped for
We were
drinks.
trying to walk in like all
You were just yourself.
I do have big
I didn't know they were going to do that to me.
I guess I get used to it.
Well, to be honest with you, like, during this time of year, there's not a whole lot of...
I gave you these spots.
Huh?
She's yelling at me now.
Me or who?
No, because I'm the one that was holding it.
Oh.
Yeah, Nick was holding them. I'm like, these
Funny.
All right, you back untangled now?
I am untangled.
Okay, you can stay on mute for a few minutes while we get through the history, and then we will be able to explore this space, so definitely get yourself on mute. David's already been recording this the entire time, so that little woo that you guys heard when you walked in will probably be on the camera, because we can hear the bar from over here even still. So, this place is the Powder Magazine. I bring you guys back here because a lot of tours like to cut through here, and you guys already figured out I like to stay out of their way because I don't have a lot of friends in this industry. I take your business. Did I say that out loud?
You're being recorded.
I know. I don't give a shit. I say it every night. So if they want to catch me, it's all on my website. It's not like I'm hiding anything. Yeah, see, in the summertime, like, I'm turning people away. Like, it gets like that. Like, because people fight to get on this because it's so limited. So, but it's like 7 nights a week. I got 70 people's names to memorize. It's mind-boggling. But anyway, back to why we're here. No more bragging rights on me. That little tiny building over there, yeah, I know, right? Those are not crosses on that building. If you've never been here before, those are earthquake bolts. You're going to hear a lot about those too, just because like that big earthquake I mentioned earlier. Earthquake bolts are basically turnbuckles. So if we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, you can tighten them, right? And then it's supposed to incur any further damage by tightening up the building. So it's a great idea, it just doesn't work. We'll get closer to them, so. I bring those up because that's part of the reason why we're here, is those earthquake bolts. Those were the first set that Charleston ever put in, because it's the oldest government building in South Carolina that we have, finished in 1713. So, and you guys are going to see earthquake bolts all over town in the shape of lion heads and pineapples and all kinds of bullshit. It's just part of the Charleston charm. So, but this building is what I call a familiar. You guys don't watch TV shows, but they will use like this teddy bear type device where it has little blinky lights and stuff in it to make it react to children ghosts, because children will react to it because it's a toy. It's something they're familiar with, which is the same principle of this building. This building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life. So let's get into Anne's story. First, you need to know that the building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No. 1708 is where the history begins. Follow me, there's a lot of twists with pirate lore. So,
1708.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going. Oh, okay, go.
Ireland. 1708, a young lady moves here named Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Got it?
Got it.
The three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed was she that they got to leave the country? Just saying. Normally I warn all the gentlemen on the group to not piss off their wives.
Yeah.
But anyway, they land in Georgetown. That's just north of here, between us and Myrtle Beach. Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. That means he's sending young Anne down here to be able to sell anything from the plantation to help keep things afloat. Hence the familiar building. So, Anne back home in Ireland was said to be a badass even back then. They say when she was 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore, nothing is exact, that she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. So again, we have had the terms servant, knife, and belly all show up in the same evening at this location, so take that for what it's worth. No, she's not.
There's another person that's just in the bar.
Somebody else is sorry that she did it.
Oh, he thinks that somebody else just entered the bar because the bar just went nuts. So, fast forward, the building's done in 13. Pirates are starting to come through Charlestown in 1715. Anne is stoked. She's going to fall in love with one of these pirates so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world at this point. First guy she falls in love with. I said first because there's a handful, and we're going to go through every one of them. First guy is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going, right? We already mentioned her pirate name of Anne Bonny. Dad didn't approve because he's a filthy pirate, so they ran away to Jamaica to get married. That's where her name came from. This guy, James Bonny, is not Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This is not who she wants. She falls in love again a few years later. This is John Rackham. They call him Calico Jack. This is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case you're wondering who this is. So Jack has his own ship, and Anne wants to be part of it. You can't put a girl on a pirate crew because it's bad luck. So he makes a deal with it. If you dress like a guy, you can look like the crew, and you can be part of it. She's okay with this because Dad used to...
Oh,
like
that's
that.
a good one.
That's a good one. She was okay with this because Dad used to...
turn my thing on.
Oh, you will. You're going to have a lot to go on. Trust me. Dad cross-dressed her as a boy apprentice back home to hide her from his wife. So she was okay with this cross-dressing bit to become a pirate. Anyway, she's a female in Jack's quarters. Let's put 2 and 2 together. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl, and then they're going to vote Jack off as captain. So with that said, he drops her off in Cuba. Come back later and figure it out later. So that's how that goes. But she has the baby in Cuba, returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to the child, by the way. She's dressed like a female as well, which makes Jack pretty pissed off. And while she was gone giving birth, he captured another pirate group. They're down below deck. She's going to go flirting so she can go piss him off even more. We're on guy number 3, in case you guys lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. Her name was Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate, which is why I thought I heard the name Mark coming out of your spirit box when you two were at the restaurant. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers, we're not going to really know for sure, but the British found out where they are. They send a fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. The rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates that were not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1 bullet flintlocks. Obviously, 2 ladies with flintlocks are not going to take on a whole fleet of ships. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, Anne looks at Jack and says, I'm sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog. The word dog is a very prominent spirit box term here, just so you know. We actually have had dogs barking on injuries to this.
That popped up when he started talking about the changing of the...
Oh, I've got mine turned down so I can hear the story, because
Oh wait,
I'm
there's
all
more.
in.
Yeah,
Now,
okay.
the judge wants to see the 2 men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. The judge doesn't give a shit. They're still pirates, so he's still going to hang them. We plead our bellies was the last thing they shouted out, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne, brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary Reed. We don't really know. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Yes, woman in the 1700s lived past the age of Eliza Lucas Pinckney. So, Mary Reed dies a few months later in April of 1721 from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. So, most books would tell you that it was fever, something very simple. I'm going to say bullshit. Let's call it scurvy. Why the hell not? We're talking romantic pirates, right? So, a couple of things I left out of here for spirit boxes. So, you guys know what you're doing with the questions by now, normally at this point. So, I left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents on purpose. That's the father and his mistress. I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship, the name of the city in Ireland where Anne was born, and the color of Anne Bonny's hair, which comes up here often enough, you would think. And it's red. I'll give you that one. That's an easy one. But the rest of them you're going to have to figure out on your own with the other spirit boxes. This is not a prominent English woman, so you can ask whatever the hell you want to. I will tell you, like, we are going to be somewhat quiet because these are apartment buildings and people are sleeping in them. So, again, this is not a place where you can shout the answers over to me, even though they live near Tommy Condon's where you guys just used the restroom. So, keep in mindful of the other tourists coming around here. The ivy wall for you, David, is not a good thing. So, David, point your camera at this ivy wall. Look at the depth of all the leaves.
Oh.
See how it's going to give you all those points? Those are false positives. You might as well just keep the ivy wall out of it. Anything else pop up with yours?
Just change. You're still on that.
EMF detection. She's okay. I already know she wandered off. EMF is, I don't expect the sinking mansion numbers over here. The closer you get to that half of the lot, you're near 2 electrical poles, parking meters on the other side of the bushes. I get excited on things on the back. This is more spirit box work than anything.
I'm about to go in there.
No way.
Answer.
Oh, wait, shoot.
It's genius.
Where did everybody go?
Alright.
He's going in the porta potty.
I think it's locked, but you can try. No construction crew out here. See if it's unlocked.
Oh my gosh, it's a really ugly ghost.
There's an 8-9.
Mom,
An 8?
Got an 8-9.
it's a ghost. Oh, Mom.
Hold on. Shh. But Sky Zone might have something to do with if
Be
they,
creepy if there's something in the windows.
Can they? Do they know any? This question. Do they know anything about us?
It depends on who you brought with you. Is Anne Bonny going to know anything about you? Probably not.
Okay. Well, I mean, if they're here.
Whoa. Oh, that's my shadow.
Can be. So I don't bring up religion.
What was that? Show yourself.
Danger?
difference. Symptoms. Symptoms. 1055.
I just got an Usher song. It said, like, baby, please.
8.
I got
8.
8.
A clear 8. Urine.
It did not say it.
Right here.
It said hearing.
22.
Body of Christ.
She's gonna get a lot of religious terms because we're in the church.
Believe. That's the 5th time I've heard believe tonight. Dog.
That's 28. Told you, the dog shows up here a lot. Let's see if she remembers what that means.
Did she say dog or dawn?
Dog. She said dog.
Dog.
She has a Kentucky accent.
Y'all have different accents than I can interpret. Sometimes I can pinpoint where you guys are from.
Kentucky mixed with Alabama. 3 of us are Alabama.
I can normally pick out Alabama, it's like no problem.
We're Birmingham, we're not rural Alabama.
No, that's
We're
probably
Yeah.
rural. They got shovel.
The 8 is relevant, by the way.
Interesting. I haven't heard that really.
That's good.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing to steal?
Shovels. Digging for treasure.
Right.
That was Jimmy again. Jimmy told me to ignore it.
I'm eating nothing.
You had the number 8, that's relevant.
Oh, yeah.
This is the most clear I've heard.
I mean, it's saying stuff like rhetorical. I don't know. It's saying
Well,
like,
here, come here, baby.
I want to listen to it. No, I want to.
come on.
Let me.
You're videoing my love. You have a job.
He has a job too. Thank you. Yeah.
Come in. This is what's amazing about Airbus.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, he has a job too.
No, honey.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Oh, look, you can share.
No, let me video. I can do it at the same time.
Okay.
Happening now. What is?
Converted.
It like. Did you click the button on the side?
No.
Okay. It should be saying stuff. There you go. We just got a whole podcast.
Yeah.
Today we're back at the Secura.
And that's the way that's supposed to work. So it's going through FM and AM radio stations
Project.
together. And it's trying to take out the white noise.
67.
Yeah. 67.
67.
Which I have. Yeah, what the?
We got new project 67. That's what we got. Something like that. Or like project
This hurts.
67. I'll turn it down. Make you deaf.
What you do with your child, and it instantly rescue popped up. And then jerk.
If you have a smart
Nah,
device.
That's what I told you about.
All right, you said that when you talked about rescue.
Oh,
Here, you listen to it.
alright.
You heard the word job.
Okay. The legs. Okay. Oh. All right.
I said, what did you do?
All right. Talk to whoever because they're here. I'm not kidding.
Wait, there's someone here.
Ask who's here.
I said, what did you do with your child? And it said rescue. And then I told them about it, and it put up jerk.
Hey, who's here?
Okay, give us a name.
Can you
May
tell
we
us
have a
who you
name,
are?
please?
Okay, I know you're right here. Okay.
All I got was like rose colored, relating to her hair.
That's not where rose actually means anything.
Repeated.
Rose is actually relevant to the doctor.
For real?
His address.
That's the bleeding thing.
Hang on. He lived at 59 Church Street. That is known as the Thomas Rose House. So again, the word rose does show up here a lot.
I got the number 2000.
I just got a weird vertigo feeling a second ago.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
I got the number 2000 in rose colored.
Look, they're talking to Nick more on that thing than me.
Switched.
Well, whoever it was.
Can
Give
you
him
tell
another
us who
minute.
you are?
Whoever it was didn't.
What
Right on
emotion
me.
are you feeling?
Or are you?
Can't do yes no. So what emotion are you feeling?
What do you mean?
I asked a big question that I was hoping to get the answer out of because she was being so open, I guess. And tell us who your favorite lover was. She's not in there. She can hear me. It's not a walkie-talkie.
Oh, there's a figure.
Hey,
There's a figure
I'm gonna
that's
kick Nick's butt.
sometimes showing up.
You can't do yes no.
Oh,
Who do you want us to
and-
leave?
There, it keeps showing up sometimes.
And the funny thing is,
Is
we've
your
actually
favorite?
had somebody sitting on top of that garbage can. Like you can see, like the L.
I got the
Yeah.
number 20.
So I
Oh, there we go.
It's part of the date of her trial.
It said
17th.
Memphis 20.
There's someone right here.
And who did you love?
And it says sitting. Like you could see, like. the
Mom,
person's-
move. Mom,
we
move.
want a point of reference in there.
Oh, you do?
So yeah, so that way you can kind of see the depth of, is it something, or is it just picking up all of the different contours of the trash can? We have found things on top of the trash can, but not like directly on it. Like what
Should I
you
go
did now.
nearer to it?
I would, just to kind of verify where the points are coming from.
Yeah. I got something right here, I think. It was just here. Okay. It looked like someone was sitting or crouching down near the trash can.
Like praying?
No.
So go ahead and hit mute on that. Let's give it a break. Yeah, it's on the right hand side. Okay. So let's kind of go over these answers real quick, because first off, you were getting a little disoriented with a little bit of, like, almost like a vertigo feeling. I will tell you that this is one of the spaces I give that heated warning because of at the beginning. I've had females that have not been able to enter the space at all. So like when you guys met us at that corner, I always kind of pay attention to what's going on with the group, because a lot of times the females say, I can't go in. Like it happens all the time. Their heart's pounding, the whole 9 yards.
That's why I was thinking of that.
A year ago this past September, I brought my group to the back like I always do, and the temperature was like this, nice and cold. The kid next to me literally starts to faint, like going down like a bad habit. I had to pick him up by his armpit, so that way he doesn't hit his head on the ground. His boyfriend picked him up from the other side of him, brought him over here, and I got him a bottle of water, feeling better. I then told them the story of Ann Bonnie that I told you. Afterwards, this used to be my last stop, so I told them all, go spread out, go have some fun, last hurrah, let's do this. These two guys pull me aside and tell me they are two transgender males. I had two females dressed like males, just like Ann and Mary in the story on the tour. So it made sense to us as to why one of them about passed out and fainted right in front of us before our very eyes. So these are the weird things that I can't explain, but they do happen. But I do give that warning every single night, like, you need to tell me when you're not feeling well. So that's part of the reason why. He was fine. I didn't have to call him an ambulance that night. I have had to do that in previous tours, though. When somebody's a psychic or a medium and they don't tell me, I try not to give them a spirit box, because first off, that's a different type of messaging that they just, normally, it's too much for them. Normally by the Pinckney Mansion site, they're down, and they don't tell me that they're a psychic or a medium until they're on the gurney going to the emergency room. So take that for what it's worth. I see that probably 3, 4, 5 times a year. So normally I can pinpoint you guys pretty quickly. Like I know the signs of like, where's my psychics, where's somebody that's a little too sensitive, what do I give these people to work with? So let's go over the answers from Ann Bonnie, because I do want to get us out of that space. One of the few pictures of Ann Bonnie you can find with a shirt on. The reason why is because she used to bare her breasts to show men that they were just killed by a woman. So I get obviously teenage boys. I don't need angry moms. So the names of her parents were William Cormack, Mary Brennan. This was not another subliminal trick waiting for you guys to hear Mary again, because I already told you about Mary Reed. We just happen to have two different Marys in the story. So let me show you what Calico Jack looked like, because everybody wants to see what they based Johnny Depp off. Oh, this is the guy. This is Calico Jack. He's named that because of the jackets that he wore. Those came from the British captains that he killed. His father was a tailor, so textile was very important to him. Calico Jack translates to fancy jacket. So that's basically where the name comes from. The name of his ship was called the Kingston. And don't expect the word Kingston to come out of the spirit box that you're using back there. Maybe the other one. The reason why is because this is where we have to mix our tech of what we're actually waiting for an answer, of what they're able to grab to tell us. What, and tell us the name of Jack's ship. You might get the word King. And I'm okay with that, as long as it's a direct answer. The word Kingston would probably come through more so on yours, because yours is more than likely going to pick up a disembodied voice over the one that Nick has. So, that's basically the answers that I gave you. Oh, the name of the city where she grew up is Cork, Ireland. So again, we haven't gotten that a whole lot. That's a question I've recently started to throw in there, because it started to pop up a little bit more than what I normally saw. But I was kind of like, maybe she wants to talk about her hometown a little bit. So I started adding that question in. Past couple of weeks.
So they literally don't know where her child is. She left her in a memory.
It's crazy how,
and that could be true.
Direct those answers were.
I just can't
really
prove
kind
it.
of amazing.
I know nobody can, but
Yeah,
it was there.
those were directly answered.
But when you say things, and I said, it says it twice.
Can you hear my voice and then see what word popped up? No. I guess you're not recording me. See? That's unfortunate.
But when the name
but
ladies
several.
came up on the spirit box you're using, we get a lot of female gendered terms here all the time. The song Girls Just Want to Have Fun shows up here often. And that whole phrase, girls just want to have fun. Like, that's a lot to come out of that spirit box. You
I
guys,
did get that song.
That
at the porta
wasn't.
potty over there.
That wasn't what I.
What
When
song
I
did
heard
you get at the
ladies,
porta potty?
you were thinking ladies like
Oh, really?
her
Oh, you
and
told me.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Mary.
Mary, and then I immediately got no. She's with ladies, and then as soon as I said she's with ladies,
Habitat.
that's when
She left with ladies.
I was like, no, I felt it, and then I handed you the box, and you said Habitat, and that's when I went because I felt it all through me. It was a nunnery, and then you said Habitat, and I was like, oh. I mean, she's saying they were in habits. Ladies were in habits, and they probably did have fun because surprisingly, nuns are fun.
So
that means
she's
that-
uncertain about the answer.
Well, she doesn't know what happened to her child. Like,
Maybe
I
she's
had.
uncertain about what really happened.
Okay, I'm getting.
What if she had the baby and then someone took it before she had a chance
Locked
to
in.
do anything?
exactly. Like, there's literally no anything.
So if you
Well, I'm
ask
trying
and
to make
she's
her
so
feel
stressed
better.
out about being
Here's what I'm excited about. I'm obviously excited that you actually were not feeling well with all of the. I know that sounds weird, but you had high EMF for this particular location. We don't get those kind of numbers. We don't usually get any numbers for this location. And the fact that you guys were getting so many like direct answers, even though they may have been vague of like what we can prove and what we can't prove, it's a matter of like you still had an experience all on your own with those high readings. The next space we're going to go to, let me explain what this is because it's a little different than what we're doing right now. The next space, I'm actually kind of glad that Nick took your spirit box because we're going to be doing the Estes method. You guys watch Sam and Colby, you should be aware of what this is. I'm going to blindfold you and put noise canceling headphones on you. And we're going to talk to you as if you're the ghost. And you're going to hopefully give us answers, and you're not going to know the history of the space. You and David are going to sit down on a bench while I tell the moms what's going on with the history of the location, and then we're going to go talk to him as if he is the ghost that we're trying to hunt down, and he's not going to know anything.
I saw a video about this. He had to like get up out of the chair and like leave. 'Cause he was,
Oh, it was that.
Yeah.
It was that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
I'm definitely watching.
So this either works out really, really well because you're not going to know anything, or it goes really, really bad, meaning nothing happens. Last night was a night where nothing happened. Kind of use a barometer of like how successful it was because I'm only going to keep you under for 10 minutes. We're going to talk more about this when we get there, but we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on all of the other things as far as the other devices to make sure you're going to be okay. But again, this can be a little overwhelming. So, like I said, I'm a little glad that you took it for Andrea.
Put that on you. Because
We're gonna have to watch it.
your
Yeah,
heart
we
rate.
do watch your heart rate and breathing. So, because it can get a little intense.
It's actually perfect for Nick because he's the one that has like actual no real feeling of all of us.
I'm excited.
I know.
I want to do it.
You're a little emotional. So
I know, right?
With-
There's
with
like
that-
no way.
with that being going underneath the blindfold and noise canceling headphones is probably going to be too much for you.
Oh yeah.
So I'm actually
I
really
would
glad.
be on the floor. I
So,
would have said no.
I'm kind of glad you took it. We're going to be walking about 2.5 blocks, so you know the drill when we're on sidewalks with the EMF detector. You can ignore it, but definitely pay attention to your spirit boxes. David, you can stop your recording. You won't need to record any.
I started recording.
As we were walking past, we got democracy. As we're walking away from the building, we got revoked and failure.
Oh,
We're
midnight.
approaching the cemetery, we get stand. As we're walking past the cemetery, we get against, and we said, "What are you against?" And that's when he is guilty came up.
That was amazing. As soon as I went up there to pray, the bells went off.
All right, so I'm going to take your spirit box because we're not going to be using it during this session. So what's going to happen here is David has asked if he can do this too. So you're going to take his camera.
I'm videoing.
So go ahead and hit the stop button at this point.
Okay.
That's the red button, so just tap it.
Lips.
Henry. We need
Conversation.
let's have some specific words come out. Can you tell us maybe the name of your son or your wife?
999.
There's that sound, Henry. What's the sound we're hearing right now? I like the word war. there.
17.
What's the sound we just heard from the church? Any times coming out?
Just spilling stuff on the sound.
Who's here with us? Can you give us what your name is? Who's here?
Myself.
Yeah, we get that, but who? What's your name? Four minutes. Who do we have here with us? We want a name.
We'll be back.
Will.
Can you tell us your name again?
Well, that was Henry.
Jesus.
Wow.
Begin.
I have begun 4 minutes ago. You need to be giving us some answers as to who's actually here so I know which questions to ask. Can you tell us if you're male or female? We might not have Henry here with us.
Reach down.
He's very intense.
He is an intense person. It's probably won all the wrestling fights.
Who do we have here? Give us a name, please. That way I know which questions I need to ask.
Is it a risk to tell us? who it is?
Offensive.
How is it offensive for me to ask what your name is? My name is Nick. The person that can hear you's name is Nick. The other gentleman here is named David.
Would recommend.
Henry Timrod, I would like some answers out of you. What do you want us to know? I've asked about your wife, your child. It's very quiet in here. It's very calming. We're being respectful. I know I'm here every night.
Place.
Which place? What is your favorite place? Is it where all your work is being held at? I see that. That's weird. What's your favorite place? I can take a good guess. He's trying to stay calm. Henry
A
Timrod.
shooting.
Which shooting are we talking about here?
1-4.
Extremely addictive.
1.
Who do we actually have here with us? There's a lot of things coming out of these
He's
gentlemen.
above.
Like nothing where I'm super positive like this is going well. So we got about a minute left, Henry. You need to tell us whatever it is you want to tell us or answer any of the questions I've asked. I would prefer if you would just tell me simply what sound we hear out of the church. That would give me enough and we'll shut this down.
How many
we've asked that question, it's always the same number. 5.
5.
Every time.
That's interesting.
How many people are here?
Oh, 1 plus 1.
You want us to do math?
Yes. Nobody knows that this one needs some math.
Maybe. Henry, we're getting ready to wrap this up.
Or do you?
Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up because you're not giving me any answers. Now, how many people are here? Nick's having a hard time.
Animals face 6145.
None of those numbers mean anything to me.
580571.
A lot of 5s in there. Okay, Henry, how old were you when you passed away? Now that you're warming up a little bit, vague answers. How old
A
was
new proclamation.
How old was Henry Timrod when he passed away? Remember, he was 38. Henry. I'm going to tap them out. Last chance. All right, ladies, let's pull them out of there.